I'm the Music Fan Man for Music or Lose It. I'm here with the great professor of rock, does these amazing mini documentaries, if we can call them that, videos on his YouTube channel, telling great stories, important stories of the music of yesteryear, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Is there a cutoff point for your channel? I know that you did the review of Johnny Cash, Hurt, and that I think was from 2002 or 2003. You're very much focused on the music of yesteryear. So is there a certain cutoff a year with your channel that you've said we're not going past this point?
No, not at all. In fact, I did Foster the People. I interviewed Mark Foster for Pumped Up Kicks, and I did actually interview Portugal the Man, Feel It Still. No, if it's a great song, I will cover it. I usually try to focus more on rock and roll. I touch upon pop and R&B and new wave and all that. I mean, to me, if it's a great song, then that's the test.
Are there any bands from this era, anything in this past year that's caught your attention? Any best new artist people in your mind who are on your radar?
No.
No.
I don't know. I'm just so busy, doing stuff with the channel and doing interviews and family. I'm a family man. I like to.
You've got a bazillion kids, and
yeah.
I might be exaggerating a little bit. Do any of your kids come to you and say, "Hey, Dad, check out they look like the TikTok generation"? Do any of them come to you and say, "Hey, we want you to check out this new singer"?
My son, both my sons are really into classic rock, and my one son whose middle name is Morrissey, named him after Morrissey, and Billy Joel. His name is William Morrissey. That shows you kind of the eclectic taste, I guess, I had growing up. But yeah, I mean, he likes new wave, and then my younger son that has autism is more of a classic rock kid. But they have new songs that they like. They'll show me bands. My older son, who's 15, almost 16, he likes indie music, indie rock. So he'll show me different things. Actually, every night when we go to sleep, before we go to bed, I will show him a song one night that I really want him to hear, and then he will show me a song that he wants me to hear, and we'll really listen to it and talk about the song. That's kind of a fun father and son bonding experience. The other night I showed him Desert Moon. I love that song because it's so nostalgic. I noticed that he added it to his playlist, so I was kind of excited. We share the same Spotify, so I should probably jump into his playlist that he has and see what he has. He's a big Killers fan. He loves the Killers. I like the Killers too. I think the Killers... Actually, I shouldn't say I like them. I love the Killers. And I love the Foo Fighters. I love Foo Fighters. Now, Foo Fighters are, to me, that's new music. But to anybody else out there, they've been a band for a long time, and so have the Killers. So maybe that doesn't count.
Let me ask you, and you may have just answered the question, what is your favorite way to enjoy music? For me, it would be I'm on a road trip, listening to great music in my van, taking off down new roads. What is your specific way that is your utmost way to enjoy listening to music as a music fan?
Anybody that knows me really well knows that I've spent a lot of money on headphones and earphones, and I've become a bit of a aficionado. I wouldn't say a snob, but a purist on the way I listen to music. In fact, I tried to give my son some really good in-ear kind of monitors. Well, they were wireless and they're really good. They're Bowers and Wilkins, and I upgraded and got some different ones. And he likes his Apple, what are they called? Apple
iPods.
Yeah, I have no use for those. I guess I am a little bit of a snob when it comes to that, because I want to hear the instrument separation. I want to hear the highs, the mids, the lows. I want to hear, I want to listen to a song that I've heard 1,000 times and hear different things that I haven't heard before. So I'm on this journey, and it's been about a 10-year journey to find the perfect pair of headphones. I've spent as much as, luckily I've had some sponsors come in and give me some headphones. I've listened to a $5,000 pair. I've spent, I think, $2,500 on one pair. And so I love them. And that's how I listen to it. I like to immerse myself in the music. Sometimes
Any specific place? Where are you at when this is happening?
I listen to music every night when I go to bed. When I go to sleep at night, and I usually listen for an hour before I go to sleep. But I have music playing while I'm sleeping. I've done that since I was a little kid because it helps me to sleep.
a headphone addict. I've commented on one of your videos before. I predicted that your favorite songs of all time was either going to be Hurt by Johnny Cash or Level 42, Something About You, based on the way you went talking about them in your review. But you said, no, close. Now, is there ever going to be a video in your future where you unveil to your audience 100, a top 20, a top 50, a top 100 favorite songs of all time, or anything to that effect, or artists or albums or what have you?
Yes. Yes, the answer to that question is yes.
So can you give a sneak peek? Can you give me like a number 3? Like, or could you say, yes, Johnny Cash and Level 42 would be in that top 10 or so?
Well, so I have my two different kinds of, my two different lists, and I have this for movies too. There are the movies that are my top 20 movies of all time that are like my life movies, that are life-changing, that I consider to be the greatest movies of all time. Then I have another list that's my favorite movies that I could watch a million times and I never get tired of it. Same thing with music. I have that list as well. For me, Pink Floyd and the Beatles, there are certain albums, Zeppelin, that I wouldn't necessarily, like Bob Dylan, I wouldn't necessarily listen to Bob Dylan every day, but he's somebody that I think is an important artist, and I love a lot of his music. So I have two different lists. Level 42 would be on my list of just ear candy. Love it. It's such a feel-good, great. I could listen to that song 1,000 times and never get tired of it. But that question was asked. Stephen Colbert has an interview with Bruce Springsteen that I watch, because I watch musician interviews, and I watch the one with Bono too. I watch a lot of artist interviews. I don't watch talk shows per se. I just watch it because of the artist interview. Because I don't want to get people on either side saying, you watch this, you watch it, whatever. I just like artist interviews. But I think the question is, if you had to listen to the same song over and over again the rest of your life? I think that's the question, right?
I tell people, if you don't know what your favorite song of all time is, the aliens are coming. You have just 5 minutes to pack up, but they're only letting you take one song with you. That's how you know what your favorite song is.
That was a similar question. For that, I remember Bruce Springsteen said, and it touched my heart. He said "Summer Wind" by Frank Sinatra,
okay, and
that would definitely be in one of the greatest songs of all time. I don't know if you knew this, but Sinatra is actually, I don't think I've shared this on my channel, but Sinatra is my favorite artist of all time. Frank Sinatra is my favorite. If I had to, I don't know that he would be the song, but let me think here. If I could give you something that's in my top 10 that I consider to be the greatest song of all time, Pink Floyd, "Comfortably Numb" would be in my top 20. And I'm not going to tell you where out of my top 20. But yeah, I plan to. I think once, for our 1 million subscriber episodes, we're going to do a special thing. And I have some special guests as well that we'll be talking to. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to share my top 10 of all time albums, songs, artists.
Right on. You're the professor of rock, but I bet I could stump you with some questions about modern music, since you've confessed that you don't keep up with it as much. Are you familiar with the biggest song of the past year, which is "The Rich Men of Richmond" by Oliver Anthony? Did you hear it?
What is it?
"The Rich Men of Richmond." Even if your preference is the music of yesteryear, surely you heard "Macarena" by Los Del Rio. Surely you heard "Old Town Road" at some point by Lil Nas X. That was the biggest song of this past year, and it was a political song. It was a working man's blues song. It was really surprising because it was an independent artist who got all the way up to the top of Billboard, sort of similar to Lisa Lowe, one of those unsigned top of Billboard rare feats. But you didn't hear that song this year?
Oh, I don't think I did. I heard about it.
All right. So if we do...
I never heard... I tell you this. What's that one song by the Gangnam Style?
Yes.
Never heard Gangnam Style. I think I've heard it in the background somewhere, but I have never listened to that song. I don't know.
So, all right. Well, we look forward to a best of list. I think I would win in trivia with the newer music. You would win in trivia for sure with the songs of yesteryear. Do you think that your favorite music of all time, do you think that comes from your childhood, your teen years? Is your favorite era of music your teen years?
I saw a study the other day, or it's probably a few months ago, that said that the music that you listened to when you were from the age of 12, I think it was 11 to 13, is the music that stays with you most. That would have been mid to late 80s for me. I love the 80s. That's my favorite decade. I wouldn't consider it to be the greatest decade. I think the 60s probably had the most great stuff. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the 80s. And that's probably because growing up in the 80s, I miss the 80s. What was the meme that had Marty McFly and it says, let's go back to 2015. And then it says 2022, let's go back to 1985. And I'm like, that describes my life to a T. I want to go back to the 80s. Loved it. It was such a fun. What I love most about the 80s is it was positive. I think these artists were trying to lift people up, and it was about you can do it, you can make it, you can. You know, I think I interviewed John Parr about a month ago talking about Saint Almost Fire, Man in Motion. And, you know, some people would say, oh, that's a cheesy song or whatever. I love that song. I think it's phenomenal. Eye of the Tiger. These were songs that told you that you could do anything. And now I don't think music is saying that. I think they're trying to.
I shared with you.
And I need to clarify that. Today's music, I'm talking about the music in the top 10.
Well,
I'm talking about the Billboard top 10. If you play it right now, it said, I quote Stephen Patrick Morrissey, hang the blessed DJ, because the music that they constantly play, it says nothing to me about my life.
Well, the trending page on YouTube, Rolling Stone, Billboard, it's the corporatization. It's the Walmart, the McDonald's of music, and there's a lot of great stuff. I shared a little bit with you some of the vulgar stuff that's out there today. Yeah. It's really awful. But on Music or Lose It TV here, I do a great job of sharing songs of today's era that are great, uplifting, creative, awesome entertainers who give me hope, because I believe every generation deserves to have a good generation of music. And I'm seeing studies about more kids are preferring video games than music these days. Oh. And I want to help resuscitate music. I want to elevate it and say, hey, there is a lot of great stuff. It may not be in the corporate platforms, but it's out there, and I'm going to help. Mr. Reader, Professor of Rock, you live out in the middle of nowhere, but you've got one of the biggest, if not the biggest, YouTube channel about music. Folks, subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description. And what an honor to meet you, sir. You're a music legend yourself, actually. I'm a little starstruck interviewing you. So thank you so much for your time. The Professor of Rock. Check out his channel.
Thank you.
Music or Lose It TV is at the video venue shown on your screen. At these venues, be sure to click the subscribe or follow button to ensure you get to see the latest videos. As of the time I'm making this video, I'm an entirely independent creator. If you'd like to kindly give a tip, one-time tips are also accepted at Buy Me a Coffee. For your convenience, links are in the video description. I hope you'll kindly please upvote this video and share the link on social media to help this channel excel in the algorithm. At musicorloseittv.com, you can sign up for my email list. I hope you will join the Music or Lose It TV community on Reddit, where you're welcome to share your favorite music videos, and if you're an independent music entertainer, you're welcome to share your music there too. If you're watching this on YouTube, I encourage you to explore the playlist section, where you'll find a lot of interesting content. For Music or Lose It, I'm the Music Fan Man. Thank you for watching.